Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Today we will talk about music and neuroscience and lots of research that my guest did because she really wanted to find out why autistic brains are so drawn towards music and why they connect with music in such a powerful way. So I can see her. Let's see if I can add her to live. She's a great personality. She's chosen the title for this live. Didn't you've chosen your own title for our
It's changed the sound. I got all excited. I heard you.
Oh, it can be. I was just telling, the viewers that you've chosen your own title for this live, didn't you? And I loved it, so I went with it. But before we talk about the titles, can you please introduce yourself, just in case your followers know you, but just in case, my followers don't know you.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and I run a YouTube channel called Autistic Musings, where I talk about what autistic terms mean, unique solutions to uniquely autistic problems, and my own experience as an autistic person.
You've got lots of heart in there when you started talking.
It's very practiced, done a lot.
Yay! Oh, hello, Nicole. Hello, SG7. Who else have we got there? Autism Mom UK. Hello. Thank you for taking a few minutes from your time to come and talk to us. So, Mackenzie, why did you choose Accidentally Musical as the title for our live?
So interesting. Before I started my research binge on music and neuroscience and how it affects the brain, I hadn't realized that I had already made music in so many areas of my life a part of my daily routine, and how much it's improved my life by making it part of my daily routine, that I was like, oh, I accidentally already made it part of it, and I had already been benefiting from music. I just wasn't aware of how it affected my brain and how it was helping me and the particulars.
They should teach it in schools, shouldn't they? How important music is for our brain. Hi, Vivian. SG7 says, nice title for the live. Story time with Jax. Hello. So, actually, you and I connected via one of my posts when I talked about the music benefits for autistic children. And then you posted a very big comment with all the research you've done and everything neuroscience. And then I said, I have to talk to this girl. She seems so knowledgeable and she connects with music in a special way. So, of course, I have to talk everything what I hear. That autistic people connect with music. I have to have a chat and learn even more. Oh yeah, SG7 says, I'm told I hum all the time. Let's see. So, would you like to tell us, Mackenzie, how do you use music in your daily life? You said that you accidentally started using it. What do you use it for and how do you use it?
Well, it's an intricate part of my morning routine, actually. It's kind of funny. I always remember this moment with my sister. When I got a late diagnosis late on in life, and I have this stem where I pace back and forth, and I decided, oh, this is for emotional regulation. I need to make this part of my day. And I also really like playing music really loud on my headphones, really loud. Some of you in the audience probably have had experience with this level. And every morning I get up and I get my cup of coffee and I go and I pace back and forth with this music on, and it's definitely helps me deal with the daily stressors that not everybody experiences, but autistic people definitely experience. And
Mm.
I find the little moment I find funny is my sister like knows when I don't have time to do this when it hasn't happened, because I tend to be overreactive to things that I've gotten much calmer about, like just little things going wrong, like I've forgotten something, or I'm running late, like my whole body gets a little anxiety ridden, and you can tell that I haven't had time to do this and haven't had time to
Mm.
do my music and my pacing back and forth. I've
Mm.
also made it part of, if anybody in the audience, we can get overstimulated autistic people real easily due to like sensory reasons. Like I said, daily stressors. I have what I call dark room breaks where I listen to like classical calming music because it can be hard again to like calm down on my own, and I need a little help. And sleeping too.
Mm.
Sleeping routine. I have a lot of trouble falling asleep, but it's definitely like an auditory issue. Like if I just lie there and don't have like music on, I have a lot of trouble like calming down in the body again and doing all this. And I didn't even realize, like I said, that I had added all these little things, and it was all music and emotional regulation things that made stress and everything that you kind of do in life throughout the day much easier to handle and cope with.
Mm. You use music in such a meaningful way. I mean, in so many ways, and most of them seem that it's for like self-regulation and help you go through the day. Oh, hi, Mark. We've gone home care. Who else has joined us? Freddie and Stacy. Thank you very much for joining us. You've got a question from Nicole saying, what music do you like to listen to?
It kind of depends on what type of task I'm doing. In the morning, I'm definitely doing some very pump it up music. I like level up quite a bit. I actually don't have a specific genre that I listen to. I'll just have like this random list of songs that I really like, but I don't pay attention to the type.
Mm,
I'll listen to like classical calming music that is mostly just like instrumental pieces.
mm,
Feeling overstimulated, and then like really exciting fast-paced music that has a lot of like repetitive lyrics. I'm really drawn to that when I'm doing a understimulating task that I have a really hard time maintaining focus on, like dishes and cleaning my room and like
yeah.
regular household things that are really hard for me to maintain focus on for some reason. And in order to keep me focused and I won't like float from task to task without finishing
Mm.
any of it,
Yeah.
I have the music.
For some reason, when you talked about the dishes, you've got lots of hearts pumping up. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm curious actually from the people who are watching us. Is anybody else listening to music and autistic or not? Are you listening to music when you do some boring chores, like cleaning and doing the dishes? Let's see if there's anybody else connecting with you. Let's see. Wow, Vivian Groth. Oh, she says, I often have a song playing in my mind all day and all night long. I love music, nearly all kinds of. It creates dopamine in my brain and can make me feel my feelings in a way I was not aware of. Yes, I love relaxing music, pan flute and piano. Do you also like this too? Well, there's lots of comments over there. I'm sure you want to comment something about neuroscience and music and brain, don't you? I can feel it because I know you've done so much research on it. You wanted to understand why. Why do we connect with music?
Yeah, I'm always asking that question. Why? the I like really found this research so interesting that I did on music, because all the areas that music benefits people in, just the entire population, not just autistic people, are areas that we really struggle in. It reinforces and helps us in those areas, and it's just amazing that it's not like the first thing recommended when you get the diagnosis. But it's really interesting because music can be extremely helpful in learning new skills, and it helps synchronize neurons together, which is basically learning a new skill in the brain. And it does that automatically with rhythm. It's everything. When you hear the rhythm and the music and the lyrics, you synchronize neurons, and it helps you learn new skills. And it goes through a different area of the brain. Those who struggle with verbal language or verbal comprehension, the music and singing directions and instructions and singing in general can help us process and comprehend the language that someone is telling us. I think you used this example one time. I watched one of your things, and it was the cleanup song. And I remember doing this with my niece when I was teaching her to clean up her room. We would do the clean up, everybody clean up. It's easier, and I do remember this one working very well.
Yes.
Because it was easier to process for a child. And it goes through the different area. Language goes through the left part of the brain, and then music, the right part of the brain. It also lights up areas, again, that we struggle with. The limbic system, memory, it lights them all up. And it also, I don't know about the people in the audience that are autistic, but I find that tone's easier to read, like the actual feeling that goes with the words. It's much easier to read when you have music. That's why movies and stuff often use music and instrumentals in the background to set the mood.
Definitely. Very interesting, all of that. Very interesting. I just have to stop you a little bit. We have some comments. It says, I find I can use music to block out the world when I need to focus on one job. You said that when you have a job to do, be it boring or non-boring, and help you get through the day. You've already said that.
Excellent for blocking out disturbing sensory input, really, in any situation, but it's really good for when you want to focus on one thing, one thing only, which can be hard when you're getting too many signals from all the other things in your environment. It's really hard to like filter them out and sort them, and it's much easier just to maintain focus on that one task instead of trying to will yourself to focus on it, to just put music on and do that.
And I think, like you said, like the neuroscience research, it can talk actually about everybody, because like you said, everybody connects with music. It just seems that autistic people need it more, and definitely they need it more because they have, you have the need of self-regulating, and you can't quite do it by yourself. You need something or somebody to help you do it. And music is, very handy, and it's such a simple tool, but unfortunately it's so underlooked. So we're on a mission here. We talked about that. We talked about our mission. We need to raise the awareness of how important music is, and such a powerful tool, to help autistic people in so many ways. Like you said, with focusing, with routines, with going through the day. I feel music better, but struggle knowing emotions in people. I don't know why. Well, you definitely start by acknowledging them in music, exactly like you said, Mackenzie. Hi, Mandy. Okay. Right. So, do you use music to self-regulate, to go through the day, to focus on a task, to do boring tasks? Have I forgotten anything? We have 4 for the moment.
Let's see. Oh, I don't think we talked about mental health and
Oh,
music yet.
5. Let's see.
I'm like, yeah, that one's really important. Especially since we autistic people have high rates of comorbid conditions that
True.
such as like anxiety, depression, and a lot of these conditions are caused by a lack of production of certain neurotransmitters like dopamine. And
Mm,
music is really amazing because it causes dopamine production to increase when you're listening to music. And it's an excellent way also to increase these neurotransmitters in areas that autistic people don't get as much as other people, like social
mhm.
emotions. We have less feedback in our brain when those things are happening, possibly because it's more stressful for us, so it's harder for us, but less dopamine. And not having enough dopamine being produced can lead to these types of conditions. And making
True.
an intrinsic part of your day, music and these things, is a way to help increase production and help your mental health and coping skills.
Definitely, definitely. And I remember you said on one of your posts that you ran for 1 minute quickly up and down the stairs because your brain is telling you, I need some dopamine. And I was reading a research about that recently. So there were people who did, sports, they did art, drawing, or any type of meditation, relaxation, yoga, things like that. And they were also doing music, and they wanted to see which group would create a higher level of dopamine, and for which group this dopamine will last longer, a longer period of time and not a shorter one. And yeah, if anybody is interested in the research, let me know, I can send you the link. But it was brilliant. I was so over the top when I found out that music created the highest level, and this level lasted for a longer time than anything else, longer than sport, longer than anything else. So just listening or interacting with music, you create this dopamine that lasts longer than other activities. So it's really beautiful, isn't it?
It's really interesting. I remember, you just made me remember a study.
Tell us all the science, put it in here.
It was about the long-term effect of being a musician or learning music in general and having it in your childhood. It had long-term effects on memory, focus, and what was the other one that they said? It was about the ability to filter out noise. This was really interesting. It increased all areas, and all the musicians had a higher memory, focus, ability to do this because they had been taught music throughout their development, and it changed the way their brain worked, and it was really interesting.
I talked about this with a musician on Monday. We were talking about the 3 learning styles, the ability to multitask and filter, because I was saying she works with an app. She works with preschool children, and she's doing music lessons for them. And I strongly believe that early music exposure and music activities, as early as you can, from even the baby before being born, but after being born as only younger children. If they're exposed, to music and lots of musical activities, they develop the 3 learning styles. They develop the ability of multitasking and also filtering distractions and noises. And when they go to school and they sit at the table with their peers, what happens is, somebody's talking something, somebody's doing something, somebody's pulling onto something, then the voice of the teacher is saying something, then some teachers are putting music in the classroom, for children to focus, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7 things to filter out and to cope with. And on the top of that, I have to do my writing in my book, don't I? So I show some book. I have to, use some resources, some cubes to count my maths or to calculate things. So lots of manipulatives in there. So you definitely need to multitask, and you need to be able to focus and develop that, filtering skill, you know, and music is so good at doing all of this, like you mentioned. So I wanted to reinforce again. What?
Yeah, something that somebody mentioned too was that it's excellent for teaching like the basics, so to speak, of conversation too. You do a back and forth of
Yeah,
singing games with
yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
It's going to be easier, as I said, to read tone, to read emotions
yeah.
when you include this in the back and forth conversation. Because my brain doesn't always interpret that with everything going on. It just sounds like the words you said, and sometimes it's like, what? Nearly so many conversations.
True, true. Well, I have a supporter who needs to leave. Sorry, I have to leave. Denmark is about to win the European football. Well, Vivian, what can I say? Congratulations. Thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you very much for having you here. Right. So, Mackenzie, let's continue with some questions. You talk so passionate about music. So, did you go for music classes when you were little, or did you play in a band? I don't know. Did you play a musical instrument? How did you become such a passionate advocate?
So I'm like, I did have a mandatory course, so to speak. It was in my school when I was growing up around 4th, 5th grade. It was like an introductory course where they would do all that and teach us to read musical notes and play the recorders and that type of thing. And after that, 5th and 6th grade, I played the clarinet. I laugh
Did you
about
enjoy
all of
it?
this because I actually was not my most enjoyable subject. Uh, there was a lot of kids in class, and they were playing the recorder.
At the same
And
time?
it really, I couldn't really focus on what she was saying with all these musical notes and all these kids in class. And then I went on to band because I like to challenge myself in ways that I probably shouldn't sometimes. And I played the clarinet, and I'm a bit of a pencil chewer, and I break the reeds and everything because I would bite down too much. So it was more the group activity itself and the competing noises that made it really hard to enjoy the subject matter. When I was alone, and this is why I really wish I had some kind of like one-on-one lessons at some point, I really enjoyed it and did like crazy STEMmy things when I was in private. And I love listen to the music and feel it and all of this, even when I was a kid. But it's really hard to focus on all the great things about music when there's so many competing attention getters going on.
True, true, true. And to be honest, you know, I am teaching guitar and ukulele and piano to some autistic children, and they are obviously, you know, one-to-one lessons. They are tailored and personalized for them. And, you know, the beauty of it is that it's all, you know, exploring through play, and none of them, of the children or the parents, are, you know, following the curriculum of thinking, oh, my child needs to become a musician, and that's why let's push him to learn this piece and the other piece, you know, and things like that. Or let's learn this scale because that's how you should progress, by learning a scale. No, it's none of that. It's just the connection with music, through play, through discovery. And like you were talking earlier, and also somebody else mentioned in the post, you know, about emotions and music. It's so beautiful that I have a 6-year-old who's non-verbal, who comes and plays music and learns and enjoys it. And if I put two emojis in front of him, like, sad and surprised, or happy and confused, and I let him choose one of them, he puts it down in front of him, and then he starts playing music. And if you listen the first like 5-6 seconds, you think, this has nothing to do with the emotion. But when you're like 30 seconds in, up to a minute, you can see how actually he expresses exactly that emotion I've given him with his song. If it's a surprised emotion, for example, I can see how he's playing softly, and then he goes loud, to surprise me. And of course, I'm acting, in there, but it's amazing how he expresses himself using music and how he understands emotions. And however, outside our music lessons, he's not able to identify those emotions yet. But I'm pretty sure that with the repetition we are doing, and all the practice we are doing, he's going to get to a point where he can apply the music skill in his real life skills, because all the skills in music can be applied in real life, can't they?
Yeah, it's amazing. There's so many musical therapies and musical practices in general that are so beneficial to the brain, and especially with those that have neurological conditions, because in my research, I was like looking into the treatment of those with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and how much musical therapy helps them. And it's all about learning that skill and lighting up those pathways and making it easier and easier to use those skills in different contexts.
Definitely, yes. Hi, Planet Sensory. Who else is there? RKYY. Yay. Right. So, for the parents that are watching us this evening in here, evening in the UK, but for the parents who are watching us today, let's say, have you got like any personal advice from you, regarding how parents should see music with their autistic children or music activities?
Yeah, it's just an incredibly accessible way to help children. It's shown to not only help autistic children, but it doesn't require necessarily any expertise to include it into daily routine, to include it in areas where we struggle, sensory overload moments, understimulated moments. It's just such a helpful aid throughout the day that doesn't require much effort to get to. I mean, we all pretty much have a device now since you're on here.
Yep.
It can be used and utilized in directions and social situations with your child, explaining things, just adding to it may make it easier for any child to comprehend what you're saying and process it quicker. And there's so many options too that, again, accessibility, music lessons, people like you, it's very accessible. And as I said, music is already used in different neurological conditions. There's many experts that will be able to individualize and do things like that in order to encourage a child to grow in ways that you just don't know until you see it. And it just expands the possibilities on making their day more enjoyable for them.
You finished your whole sentence, let's call it, your whole advice to parents with exactly what I was thinking the whole way through when you started talking. At the end of the day, yes, music can help with so many things, like you said, communication, socializing, mental health with the dopamine, going through the daily routines, doing boring tasks, focusing, and lots of other things. But at the end of the day, it makes the children happy. Like you said, you finished saying so beautifully that it just increases, their quality of well-being, and because of that, the parents, there will be less frustrated children, and obviously happier parents, and less frustrated and less tired parents as well. And like you said, there are so many ways to include music, and there are people there helping as well. So yeah, thank you for that. That's inspiring for me as well as a mom. I have to stick with it sometimes, and my husband is better at singing to my daughter, I have to say. Yes, so if you want, hi Lou, if you want to follow Mackenzie and find out more about her, just, here on the top, there's our names. You can click on them, you can follow. Thank you very much for joining us, Mackenzie. I really enjoyed this, neuroscience and music session. And I love the title. Yes, accidentally musical. I love it. Right. Yeah?
I interrupted.
No, I just wanted to say, is there anything else?
I wanted to say, this is just a wonderful opportunity, and I just loved talking to you. There's rare moments where I get to go on and on about a subject like this, and somebody finds it enjoyable. And this was a wonderful opportunity to not only spread awareness and just give parents and other people an opportunity. This is easily accessible, and you can reach this and you can include it daily. And you also just a wonderful thing that everybody has access to, and all your stuff that you do too, Bella, sounds absolutely amazing. I just like talking to you too.
Thank you, Lou. It was Mackenzie's idea for that title, Accidentally Musical. Would you like to explain it again, as Lou was not here? Let's just say it quickly. Why is it accidentally musical for you as an autistic young adult?
I wish to make music part of my everyday life, just daily routine, and I love my routine. All points in the day, I have music to help overstimulation, to help me emotionally regulate and to fall asleep, so many things. And I didn't realize until I did a deep dive into the research why this was helping me so much.
Lou as well. I've done a live with Lou yesterday as well, if you want to go and see it. Or she has some posts about music. It was amazing. One of her posts. And with her I connected when she said everything changes in this world, but music is a constant. And I said again, wow, I love this one. It was like when I saw your post and your comments, and you said music is allowed to be loud even if I'm autistic, I said, oh, I have to talk to this lady. Definitely. Credit to Mackenzie and Bella. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. I think there was something else in here that I missed. Dance with music explains why I like it so much. Yeah, when you want to move with music. This was awesome. Yeah, that's it. So, thank you very much again for joining me, Mackenzie. I think it's the first episode of many to go. That's what I like to think. With all your neuroscience knowledge, you are more than welcome to come here again and teach us more things about, our brain, and especially the autistic brain and how it connects with music. Thank you very much for coming and joining me and all of us. Have a lovely day over there. I'll get ready for bed in here. An early night.
Thank you for the opportunity, Bella. It was quite fun, even though I was nervous.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Take care and speak soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.